it kind of got me thinking that the last time I was in this exact spot was with my mother, and that was maybe, let's say, 3 or 4 years ago. Unfortunately, she passed away shortly after, but this place will always be her favorite spot, and I think this is where we will spread the ashes one day. It is a magical place, and that's the thing in England, is they do tend to take very good care of their history and their old estates, and a lot of this has actually been restored to its sort of former glory. Some of these sort of artifacts are hundreds of years old. I believe this building here, I might be wrong, but I think it's about from the 1800s, so it's a good few hundred years old. It's brilliant condition. At the moment, that's being used as a sort of, I guess, a bit of a museum spot. So they've made it look according to the time inside. So you go inside and it's got all the old pots and pans and the kitchen equipment, and the bedding and everything is exactly sort of what it would have been like hundreds of years ago. And they've really done a really good job. You can pay to get in here, but there's a few ways, a few places to park sort of nearby, which is what I've done, and you can just sort of walk around the grounds free. To go into the home, you do need to pay a small fee, but it's definitely worth doing once. And in Christmas time, they actually do make it look really nice inside. I think it's the middle floor. There's a sort of dining area, and there is a massive table in there. So what they used to do back in the day is all the lords and ladies would be invited for dinner or for a lunch, and there's a big giant fireplace in there. They would light the fire, get all the cooks to prepare the finest meals, and that's sort of how they would conduct business, I guess, and sort of show off. And there's quite a few artifacts around that were actually gifts. If I find any, I'll definitely show you. So yeah, let's keep on walking and see what else we can find. Here's another interesting one. This is the original gardens, where they would do sort of like vegetables, fruits, etc., etc. Some of I think the cherry trees here are still the originals, but yeah, they replanted every year. Big wall around the place, and I don't know if you can see sort of down there is the greenhouse. I don't think it's original, but it's been redone to make it look original. Oh, look at this. We're currently sort of mid sort of end winter. Look at this beautiful, we got snowdrops here. Snowdrops, that's a good sign. Good sign that spring is on the way. Or spring is around the corner. Yeah, but there we got the greenhouse. I think it's been definitely restored. It's not the original that was with the estate, but definitely looks quite good. Nice. And there's the rest. Not just the grounds that are hundreds of years old, but also the trees. That is a few 100-year-old tree. It says it's a Quercus robora. No idea what that is, but hundreds of years old. This is the old horse stables. The kings and queens and lords and ladies would come over here. park their horse and get going. Obviously there's a gift shop. There's always a gift shop. And a cafe. It's a good idea, put the cafe in an old stable. There's the old horse stable, like I was saying. I guess that was sort of the end. This is the entrance of the old estate. So lords and ladies and everyone would park their horse there. And then the Wimpole Hall is just somewhere there. So yeah, and it's been turned into like a bookshop, slash coffee shop little thing. Interesting. Yeah, that's like I said earlier, they definitely preserve the history in the UK. In fact, most of Europe really. History is really well preserved and looked after. Where I come from, South Africa, I guess generally most of Africa really, history isn't really appreciated. It's sort of looked at as a bad thing and something that needs to be forgotten. So, which is unfortunate. I mean, we did have a bad history, a bit of rough things happened, you know. It wasn't all that great, but I still think that should all be remembered, and you know, maybe not something we should be proud of, but you know, it is. At the end of the day, it is part of our history, whether we like it or not, and it should be looked after. But I guess that's just my thoughts. The English really do a good job of looking after their history and also making it available for the public.